Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I want to make a really quick video on survival mode. So if you are going through any kind of life transition, let's say a relative recently passed away and you're going through the grieving process, or you're moving, especially if you're moving to another state, or you've just had a baby, any kind of life circumstance where you are in survival mode. Life is not normal. It's important for you to lower your expectations for yourself. And I'll tell you why. So, when we're going through a life crisis and life isn't normal, and we have this expectation that we should be doing this, we should be doing that, our kids aren't cooperating enough, and all of these things, they just tend to stress us out even more. So, whatever the external stress is that you are dealing with, if it's really big and massive, you need to lower the expectations so that your internal stressors don't get overly worked and overly activated. So just remember that external stress big, internal expectations need to be low. Okay. And sometimes that means that we let go of the rules altogether. And I'll give you a few examples of what that means. So most of us think that we're being good parents if fill in the blank. It could be our kids eat vegetables, our kids are obedient, our kids are getting good grades, we are bathing our kids every night and they're eating nutritious meals and eating all of their vegetables willingly and with excitement. I will tell you that is one of the biggest traps as a parent, because what that does is it keeps us stuck in this perfectionistic mindset that we're never going to attain, especially when our tank is half full. Okay. So just remember that you cannot build anything solid in the middle of a storm. And when life is stormy and when it is chaotic, that is not the time to make sure your kids are doing all of their chores and skipping through the house eating broccoli. Okay. So don't even put that as an expectation for yourself. I will show you what it looks like to truly be in survival mode. Survival mode literally means that you are scraping by. Okay. This does not mean that this is a time of growth and flourishing and all of these wonderful things. We need to let go of all of the Pinterest ideas of what parenting means on a regular basis when things are calm and normal and life goes back to normal. A lot of us coming out of COVID, we're in this survival mode. Okay. And I had so many conversations with parents just like you who had these very rigid, high expectations of themselves and their kids. And it just keeps us in this spiral of not feeling good enough and like we're never doing enough. And our kids aren't doing well enough. And then we're just, it's just this negativity that we're feeling about ourselves because of what's going on in our head. So here's a few tips: lower the expectations. If your normal expectations for everyday life is at like a 7 or an 8, like, you're striving for that B plus, you really would love to get an A, but if you get a B plus, it's good enough, right? Okay, that's fine under normal circumstances. But again, under in crisis mode, we need to lower those expectations down to like a 2, 3, 4. We're scraping by. So here are a few ideas to help you. Only do laundry once a week. Okay. And I'll tell you why. Laundry can be one of those sensory overload things that tends to pile up. And I know this because right now I have 3 loads of laundry that need to be folded, and they have been stacking up in my bedroom. And I just keep moving them around the house so that I don't have to look at them. Okay. So I get it. Laundry is a pain in the butt, and it's just one of the things that has to be done, right? So in order for us to be doing less laundry and for it not to pile up, we also can maybe only have our kids change clothes 2 or 3 times a week. Okay, like change their underwear every day, sure, of course, don't be gross about it, but like the other aspect of that is it's okay if they wear the same clothes, as long as they're not like caked in mud or something. Like, why not let them just wear the same clothes most of the week? That will cut down on laundry. That's going to cut down on sensory overload and stressors that you have to look at on a daily basis. The second piece is, if you can, either order takeout or have a meal delivery service set up so that you don't have to go to the grocery store or think about it. Okay. Another way to look at that, if you have a specific meal plan and things that you like eating, is do the shopping online and go and pick it up or have it delivered. Take that off of your plate, because meal prep, meal planning, all of that stuff takes a lot of time and energy. And right now you don't have it. So put it, like, delegate it, give that to somebody else. The third piece of advice is use paper plates. Dishes are another one of those sensory overload things. So if dishes are piling up in the sink, that is just going to increase your level of stress. So use paper plates. You're not going to kill the planet if you use paper plates for a week or two. Okay. So give yourself some space and grace to splurge a little bit right now in this moment, because we're not able to function well or at all when we are in crisis mode. Right now, you're in crisis mode. So there's no need to try and do everything perfectly. This is not the time to get your kids to eat vegetables and to be doing their chores regularly and, getting A pluses on the report card. This is your family is in crisis. This is, again, low expectations. The fourth piece of advice is to just make sure on a daily basis that you are getting some time to yourself to kind of regroup. And that might just mean 5 minutes walking around outside in the morning, listening to your favorite podcast, taking a bubble bath, um, having a glass of wine in the evening, watching your favorite show, especially if it is like completely nonsense, like a super fluffy kind of show that means no sense, makes no sense in the real world. Just do something to help you, um, to help take the load off of the heaviness and the possible grief that you are encountering right now. The fifth piece of advice is to give lots of space and grace to everybody in the house. If you are all, the expectation might be that we're all going to be crabby. Okay. We're all going to have low patience. We're all going to be getting on each other's nerves. So you could even come up with a family code word. I've had a family that used the word pizza. And every time they said pizza, it was kind of a trigger word of like, oh, yeah, checking in with myself. Do I need space from other people? Do I need to go do something by myself? What can I do to kind of get out of this space that I'm in? So just lots of space and grace. And the sixth piece of advice is just for you to give yourself permission to just let go of the rules, let go of control, let go of the house being clean or um, everything being perfect. Because right now, what's the most important thing in your life? Okay, it's getting through this season and getting to the other side of it without losing your mind, and by helping to support your kids through this process. So just keep in mind, adults, the parents in the household oftentimes will set the tone. And if our tone is very stressed out, barely keeping it together, yelling a lot of the time, feeling frustrated all the time, that's going to be felt by everybody else in the house. So if you start to feel yourself going down that path, check in with yourself and really ask yourself, like, okay, what are my expectations right now? And like I said, let go of the rules. Maybe that means getting takeout a lot or going out for ice cream instead of going out to dinner. Like, splurge, like let go of all of the normal rules that make parenting and make you a good parent, because right now those rules cannot apply. Okay, once the storm clears, you'll be in a place again to like start rebuilding some structure and routine and get back to kind of normal life and normal expectations. Right now, that is not the time. We are getting through the moment, the hour, the day, and whatnot. So it's okay to use incentives, okay, bribery for your kiddo, if that means that they're going to be more cooperative with you so that you don't lose it. Because right now, you don't have the threshold of patience. And you can even tell your kids that my patience are usually the size of a watermelon. Right now, they're the size of a peanut, and I'm going to lose it in 2 minutes if you don't cooperate. Like those kinds of visual aids for kids can be really powerful. And it's powerful for us too, because we have to actually check in with our emotional state of being and identify it and then communicate that to our kids. So, emotional intelligence does not mean that we're walking around like Mother Teresa acting like everything's okay. That's very dysfunctional. No, this is identifying all the entire spectrum of emotions that we're experiencing and effectively communicating them without hurting ourselves or someone else. That is what emotional intelligence is. So, you can even do that, and especially do that while you're going through this crisis. And it's a very simple thing, but it can be so empowering for you to identify what it is you're experiencing and the why. I am really frustrated right now because I don't want to be moving. I want our house to be settled. I don't want to be living in boxes right now. Or I really miss grandpa and I wish he was here. So I'm feeling really overwhelmed because there's so many things that need to be done for his funeral. Whatever the thing is, age appropriate, that's age appropriate to share with your kids. Um, of just like expressing like I'm really frustrated right now. I'm feeling overwhelmed. All of those things are not bad, okay? There's no bad emotions. They're neutral. Emotions are energy in motion. I'm sorry, yeah. And emotions are energy in motion. So identifying your emotions as you're going through this process is going to help alleviate the need to express it in other ways, which oftentimes comes out with us yelling and threatening and being really angry. And if at the core we would just say, I'm really frustrated, or I'm really angry, or I'm really overwhelmed, it would help to alleviate the pressure to act it out. And a lot of the times that goes for kids too. So, whatever you're going through right now, I feel for you. I have been there. I know what it's like. You are not alone. And I just want to encourage you, the bigger the external expectations, the smaller and lower our internal expectations need to be for what we can accomplish. Because when we are in the middle of a storm, we cannot build anything. Get back to building when life evens out and calms down. But right now is kind of a shit show, and that's okay. So just do whatever you can to get through the day, get through the hour, get through the minute, and give yourself and your kids a lot of space and grace to just be a hot mess. Okay? All right. I hope that's helpful. I will see you in the next video. Thanks. Bye bye.